Good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. And my name is Ron Foster, and I'm here each and every day touching base with you all and checking out what's going on in the world and sharing it with you and you sharing it with me. And we are just one big happy community. What's going on, guys? How are you doing today? It is Tip Tuesday. You know what that means. It's Tip Tuesday. We're going to have some great tips for your photography. Today, we are talking, let me just put that on the screen for a moment. Smartphone editing tips. Smartphone editing tips. That's what we're talking about today. And since we're talking about what's going on, also, let me tell you, tomorrow we have a special guest on. And I am so excited. Let me just see if I can pop that on our screen. This is for our YouTube channel because I need to go to the YouTube channel to show you. So let's do that. I should have had that set up, but you know how it rolls. I was trying to get your lesson together. So it's all about your lesson. So we have a special guest tomorrow, and let me put that in the screen there. And I'm so excited. Here we go. We're gonna pop this up there. There we go. And this is also going to be on the screen. So I'll share that with you all. And that is again, you can always click the notify me inside the YouTube app. But we'll have our amazing photographer, Russell Frederick. And he is an amazing photographer with so many years of experience. And he'll be sharing his journey tomorrow. So we'll have a special guest. And you know how we do on special guest days, we go right on into it because we want to make sure our guests have all the time. Okay, there we go. There we go. And let's see who's in the building. The first person with the gold medal, since we are in the Olympic year, Olympic 2024. Aya is the first person in the building. She says, Grand Rising Ron and everyone, and RLP. And next in place with the silver is Rashawn Vinson. She says, Good morning, Ron and Aya and RLP family. And everybody's here. And third, but not least, in the bronze, Chris R. She says, Good morning. And then we have our regular folks. We have the rest of our community popping in. That is Anthony Rowland. We have Brian Young Creative. And we have the great Omar Ramos. Good kiddos. And we have Chrissy's Corner in the building. What's going on, Chrissy Corner? And Bryson's in the building. What's up, Ron? What's up, RP fam? And what's up, CQ fam? I'm back at home, safe and sound. So good to see that, Bryson. I wish I would have been able to spend time with you while you were here in New York. That would have been a highlight to my weekend. What's going on? Jazzy Jazz is in the building. Good morning. She says, Good morning, everyone. Rashawn says, Good morning. Everybody's saying good morning. So that's all. We got everybody in here. So we're going to do something a little different today. I'm curious about a couple of things. And one is, well, we'll wait till a lot more folks come into the community for the one thing I want to do, but definitely what's in the news. We need to talk a little bit just what's going on in the news, and you may want to keep an eye on what's happening in the news. So we'll just do that in the news. And right now, if you have not heard about what's going on in Georgia, trying to change the rules of the election coming up and the process or the procedures. And so there are three people on that council that are trying to cause some havoc by changing it and make it difficult voting. These shenanigans, again, this is why federal election rules are necessary, because the states cannot do it on their own. However, Governor Kemp may be trying to figure out a way to get these three people off this panel because it is making their state look bad. And it makes it a little easier that in the beginning, in another event that Trump had in Georgia, He called these people by name, meaning that that means they are biased. They are biased. You should not be on a election board and be for one of the tickets. You have to at least appear to be neutral. And so since he called them out by name, gave them a connection, say, hey, we have some real he calls them bulldogs in the on the panel on this, this group of people that help with where they create election rules. So stay tuned, keep your ears out for what's going on in Georgia. And what else is happening? Also, what's happening in the news? Elise says, hey, first of all, good morning, Elise. She says, they are all election deniers. Exactly. They are election deniers as well. So stay tuned to, as they say, keep your ear and eye on that space to see what's happening in Georgia. Hopefully, Governor Kemp will do the right thing. It seems that he's trying to do it the right thing. We'll see in time. So, also, uh, yeah, Jazzy says Georgia, Texas, and the GOP are an entire mess. They are trying their darndest to mess up things. And so, again, this is not going, even though Kamala is looking good, she's doing good, but it's still some places that she's still tied. And we have to bring it home. We have to work hard. We have to use our platforms to continue to tell and share and encourage people to vote, to check and make sure they're still on the rolls. Like we'll say every time, I'll keep mentioning it. Texas just eliminated, I think it was 1 million people off their rolls. That's a whole lot of people, Texas. And we know that Texas is one of the hardest places in the United States to get a fair shake in the elections. They make it very difficult. And almost tied is Florida. So, but we there's some folks that are just like saying we're done with these extremists. We are done with the extremists. And this is what I'm looking, yes, there are some black guys and some folks that are, and some black women that are saying they're going to vote for Trump, which I don't know how in the world you could be. Again, I will say it again over and over. I don't see how you can be a person of color or a woman and vote for Trump. Just saying. How can you do it? I mean, that's truly voting against yourself, voting against what you need, voting against your rights, voting against what your children need, voting against what your grandkids may need. I don't know how anyone of color, any woman in America could be even connected to the Trump megas. It's crazy. Also, yesterday, what happened? I do believe it was yesterday that I think it was the Bush team, the Mitt Romney team, and there's one more person that was on that team. Their workers all came together and endorsed Kamala Harris. Now, it seems that the fever is starting to break in some parts of the Republican Party, where the Republican Party of old, the old guard, are saying, we are with Harris. But I'm still curious. Why aren't we hearing Romney come to the podium and say, I'm with Harris? Why aren't we hearing George Bush saying, I'm with Harris? What is it going to take for these people as Republicans to come to the table and say, we are all against Trump? we are patriots for democracy. This has nothing to do with party. Until you get old, even Liz Cheney, I feel like Liz Cheney needs to be. I mean, she's saying she's going to do everything to not get him elected again. But I think we need to see people like Liz Cheney say, "I'm with Harris." Now we know that they are not talking to the mega people. The mega people are a cult. They're entrenched. Most of them, there's no help. I know that sounds brutal, and that sounds like, oh, Ron, don't give up on them. But those people are really entrenched. They're in a cult. They cannot be persuaded. Their allegiance is to their God, which is Trump. Period. And they are all bamboozled, and they are all deceived, and they are all in a cloud. However, I don't understand why all of the prominent Republicans that want to save their party, the best way to save the Republican Party, the old GOP, because this is not the Republican Party, what we have today. In order to get back the Republican Party, speaking as a former Republican, I get some weight in this because I am a former Republican. I'm an independent. But Republicans, folks, if you want to get your party back, everyone has to stand up and get to the plate and say, we vote for Kamala Harris, because you need to destroy MAGA. You need to demolish it. You need to create what's called a massive tsunami blue wave. And it will wipe out all of the trash. And I'm not calling people trash, but all the ideas of this GOP. I'm sorry, the mega people. You need to destroy it. You need to destroy it and let the tsunami come in and pull out all the roots and all that is associated with MAGA and let them just be washed out to the sea. And then the Republican Party can rebuild a healthy counter party to the Democrats, but healthy and sane. We are all the same countrymen. We are all American citizens. However, we do have our ideas of how we accomplish being Americans, not being anti-American like the megas. The mega folks are anti-American. Now, I did not plan to get on my soapbox this morning, but I was triggered. I was triggered. What says y'all in the community? I got triggered. Yes, I did. I see Kimmy Kim is in the building. Woohoo! Kimmy's in the building. Yes, indeed. And Elise did say good morning to everyone. I like to flash those greetings. Chrissy says, it's exhausting that these people keep trying to suppress the vote. Isn't it ridiculous? Aren't we like past that? Shouldn't we be past that? Our grandparents were fighting to vote, and we still got these people trying to stop people from voting. I mean, did y'all hear the latest? What was it called? The Scott doctrine. I forgot the name of the court. I forgot Dred Scott. There we go. My brain, it takes time for me to get recall. Dred Scott. They're trying to use the Dred Scott to take Kamala off some of the rolls. Can y'all believe this? And then there's another part of the mega movement trying to redefine in Louisiana, what makes a black person? You can't make this stuff up. I mean, hello, the less I check, most black people can look in the mirror and say, I'm black. I mean, you're trying to pass legislation in Louisiana or suing to determine what makes a black person. Have you ever heard of anything so crazy? Look it up, y'all. Look it up. Look it up. This is what's going on in Louisiana. I am convinced crazy lives near the Gulf of Mexico. There's something in the water of all of those states that border the Gulf of Mexico. Just saying. I don't understand it. I think they're crazy. I think they're absolutely crazy. I see here, good morning. I see good mornings. I see good mornings. They are all actually guys. Got that one. Okay, got you. I need to understand this race is not over. Yep. Here, okay. Jazzy says, I need us to understand this race is not over. Don't get comfortable and thinking that Kamala has it in the bag. She does not at all. I think that bears repeating, Jazzy. I'll say it again because Jazzy put this up here and I am bearing witness. I need us to understand this race is not over. Don't get comfortable and thinking that Kamala has it in the bag. She does not at all. Yes, thank you, Jazzy Jazz, for that information there. And Elise is in agreement as well. Exactly, Jazzy. Oh, look what Brian is in it. Brian is putting his legs, his arms in it. He says, listen, y'all, I knocked on over 50 houses this weekend, canvassing for Kamala. After the high of the DNC, I had a reality hit that was jarring. We do not have this in the bag. Did y'all just hear what Brian just said? Listen, y'all. He knocked on 50 doors of 50 houses, right? This weekend, canvassing for Kamala. And he came up with the conclusion after the high of the DNC. And we got a high. But the reality set in. I had a reality hit that was jarring. We do not have this in the bag. Thank you, Brian, for sharing that. We all need reality checks. That's right. This is not going to be easy. We need to still keep talking about Project 2025. Bryson said the Lincoln Project just dropped a video about Project 2025. They certainly did. Oh, should I pop on it? Should I go? Bryson, is it on Instagram as well? I think it's on Instagram. Hold on a second. You know I love the Lincoln Project. I love the Lincoln Project. And so you'll probably notice that we're going to be talking about politics from now to November. So, but we will also tend to our cares. Let's see here. The Lincoln Project. I love those folks. I always say that here it is, Lincoln Project. Did the new one drop? Yes, this is powerful, y'all. This is a powerful one. I'm going to have to change this out so you can hear it. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to remove this, stop this screen, and then add the new screen. Hold on. Because this is worth listening to. I mean, this is really good. I saw it this morning. Thank you, B. Thank you, Bryson. This is a good one. And let me see if I can pop this up here real quick. And
driver's license, registration.
There you go, sir. How's your day going?
That's your daughter?
Sure is.
let me go ahead.
Abigail, right?
How do you know?
Were you about 8 weeks pregnant? So you've been spotting recently. You've had any cramps or nausea?
That's personal.
You've been taking your prenatal vitamins?
Excuse me?
Are you ticketing me for something?
Where are you heading, Abigail?
To go see my older sister, Natalie.
Well, that's strange. This says here that Natalie's at a concert in Dallas, and your navigation is sent to a women's health clinic in one of those abortion states.
We have the right to travel.
Not anymore. Step out of the car.
Please, officer.
Both of you out now. You, sir, are under arrest for crossing state lines to obtain an abortion for a minor under your care. And you, young lady, well, you're under arrest for evading motherhood.
Wow. And is that powerful or what? I mean, the Lincoln Project folks, they have the best team. I don't know anyone ever in political history that has used current technology to drive these messages home. Thank you, Bryson, for the reminder of that video. Man. I mean, does that make you shiver? Or what? Or what? Does that make you shiver? Does that make you... But again, there are people that just don't believe it. There are people that don't believe that this is happening. I mean, but that's the Project 2025. That was taken from a page of Project 2025. And what I love about a lot of the entities that are working to drive home Project 2025, no one's going to read the 900 pages but nerds like ourselves, the nerds that are in the room. But they're taking these pages and bringing them to life. And it is so amazing what they are able to accomplish because people don't believe it. They can't even verbally, they cannot conceive that this could be America under a Republican, or I should say mega rule. People, Elise says, people need to understand that they are coming after our right to privacy. And again, I say the abortion laws are the gateway. Talk about gateway drugs. The gateway drug, it's a gateway to get rid of all of our rights. That's right. It's a gateway to get rid of all of our white rights. And look, they're using Dred Scott in court right now in Louisiana. Guys. And if they are left to their own demise, I don't know what slavery will look like in the new Trump era, but it's not far behind. They already told you in Project 2025 that overtime they don't have to pay you any longer for overtime. Isn't that a form of slavery? They're already telling you that they're already getting rid of children labor laws so children can work. They're already telling you what they're going to do. Elise says it. Absolutely. It's a gateway to a dictatorship. It's a gateway. These abortion laws that these people are running around, they don't care about children. They don't care about life. If they did, they would vote for lunches for kids in school. They would vote for Head Start for children and getting education for kids. They would vote for the money for to bring up children out of poverty. But the Republican Party, the GOP, the mega folks says no to anything that helps children. They're not interested in children. This is the gateway of destroying all of the other things that are including our amendments. Because some people want to go back and reverse the 13th, 14th, 15th amendments. They feel like that's not the Constitution. They want to get rid of the 13th, 14th, and 15th amendments. So let's not be fooled. And we have to figure out a way to educate our fellow Americans with grace and with love and education. Because we need I thank God every day for, I know this, I am so thankful for the Lincoln Project, who they take the time to really build on these thoughts so that people can they can see it visually, hear it, understand it. Like, if you need visuals to give to your friends, family, the Project 25, Lincoln Project does a good job in giving you tools. Anthony says Project 25 is the new is the new 1984. It's worse. It goes worse than 1984. For those that have not read the book. They want to pick what they like in the Constitution. Exactly. And they are the first to say they're constitutionalists. We believe in the purity of the Constitution. Well, we have amendments because the Constitution was not perfect. That's why we have amendments, to make it better, to make it perfect, more towards perfection. Right? Yeah, Lee says it's the parable of the talents. Yeah. Jazzy says they are a total contradiction of what they say they stand for. For the life of me, I can't understand why anyone would want to vote for them. I don't get it either. Jazzy, I just don't get it. Why do people vote against what they need? Why are there poor people voting for Trump? Why are there poor people in middle America voting for Trump? Why are there people in Alabama, in Texas, in Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Florida? Why are these people voting for something that is against them? It's the insanity. The insanity. The insanity. Brian says, here is Project 25. No overtime. Tax code goes from 7 tiers to 2, where majority of us will have our taxes raised by at least $300 a month. And it goes on and on. Yeah, Anthony says the videos for Project 2025 make it more digestible for the less nerdy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jazzy says in Louisiana, they have currently removed certain child labor laws. So, guys, we need to continue to educate the people around us. And again, like, there's some people that cannot be reached, but we can do it. We can win this race if we all participate. Elections is a full hands-on deck participation sport. We all need to be involved. So anyway, I have another question for you. Omar said before I started, Omar says the lack of knowledge is the trail to destruction. Right? There's a Bible verse that said, "My people perish because of what? The lack of vision." That wisdom, that vision, lack of it, the people perish. Brian says the best Lincoln Project vid is where they show what will happen after Orange is elected. Just repost it to my IG. Oh yeah, there's a bunch more. I mean, they do a good job. I love the Lincoln Project for what they do. Let me pop this in and see. And yeah, there's a couple that they've released. If again you want to go check out some good stuff, and then you can forward it and put it on your page. I'm always reposting the Lincoln Project. I go through every time they release something, I repost it on all my platforms. Hopefully someone will get it. If we can save one person at a time, we've done our job. Yeah, that's a Jazz. Jazz, I don't understand that. They believe it will give them power. This is all about power, but they're not going to get power because under a dictatorship, the only one that wins is the dictator. Systemic self-hate, says New Jersey Rep 08. Systemic self-hate. Bryce says, this is not the Twilight Zone, everybody. Y'all gotta beware because it's not a game. It's not a TV show. It's not a bad movie. This is reality. Okay, so my next question to you guys is, I have a little poll, not a poll, but I would just like to hear from you. I want to take a moment to hear from you on today before we go into it's already 10, almost 10. It is 10:30, so I'm gonna have to go to class and lesson. But I do want this one, if you can put it in the chat, in the comment box, in the chat. First of all, also, speaking of the chat and comment box, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. That makes for the algorithms to keep us on the mainstream. But I want to know community topic suggestions. We are now going into politics. We are going into the political season. We are going into, obviously, election 2024. Labor Day weekend is this weekend. Can you believe it? This is the last unofficial week of summer. Most kids are back in school. A lot of kids are in school this week. When I was in South Carolina last week, the school was starting. And I heard school started this week as well in a lot of southern states and states outside of New York City, outside of New York State. So I have a question for you. You're going to help this community. I would like you to help this community because this is your community. I just help facilitate it. I would like you to, in your comment box here, to think, give yourself a moment. I'm gonna do the Jeopardy sound. Hopefully that won't make you crazy. But I want you to put in the comment box, what topics should we be covering, or you would like to cover, or you would like us to talk about over the next couple of weeks and months leading into the election. It doesn't have to be election related. Just let me know what you want us to focus on, like the fine photographers we are in this community. Most of us love photography. And so to get a good picture, you need to focus. So we're going to focus and fine tune the next couple of weeks and how we strategize as a community and what we talk about. So put in the comment box, what do you want us to focus on for the next several weeks leading up to the election? And again, it does not have to be election related. I would like to get a pulse of what you want for the next couple of next couple of months. Because it's right, we got September, October, November. Okay. Well, really first week of November. Okay. Let me know. Yeah, Bryson. Yep, it is the Labor Day weekend, y'all. Yep, this is Labor Day weekend. Where did the summer go? Yes, you get Mondays off. You get Mondays off. Yep, you get Mondays off. Guru, Superman. Okay, I got that from. We are 20 plus days from early voting in some states. Ooh, that's a good thought there too. Yes. Yep. Any suggestions, y'all? Any suggestions? Is it crickets? Is it crickets? No suggestion. You just want me to just go by my own intuition. Are we doing good? Are we doing good as we cover these subjects like we've been doing over the summer? The rights of women and the rights of Black people in Project 25. I like that idea. I just got that one in. Thank you, Derek. Elections by the numbers, like by state and the congressional race. Ooh, that's deep. Okay, Jazzy Jazz. I like that one. Okay, anyone else? Any more suggestions? What should we be talking about over the next several weeks? What should we be talking about? I do like that. Jazzy says elections by the numbers, like by state and the congressional races. I like that. And let me put Derek's on here. Derek says the rights of women and the rights of Black people in Project 2025. Okay. And Jazzy says, I think a lot of people see the voting numbers, but they don't understand. Yes, I agree. Any other ideas? I see y'all talking about Labor Day, right? Stay focused. Stay focused, y'all. Stay focused. What would you like us to talk about in the next couple of months? What do you want us to talk about? So we got two subjects. In the room. Hey, Hannah, good morning. She says good morning to everybody. Miss Hannah is in the building. I missed that. Hannah's in the unit. Hannah is in the building. Right? Oh, right, Brian. Stay focused. I know Labor Day is Labor Day is this weekend, but I would like to know, what do you want to do? What topics? What do you want the community to talk about? Community topic suggestions. That's where we are right now. Here's another one by Jed. How much we are impacted by county elections, county, etc. No, sorry, I sent that too soon. Also, how to take, there we go. How to take great pictures of the moon with a smartphone. I got bad news for you. You cannot take good pictures of the moon with a smartphone. That one was easily solved. You gotta have a better camera to take pictures of the moon. The moon is one of the hardest photos to take, pictures of the moon. Okay, so any others? So we got two. We have three. We have three ideas. Three ideas for this community topic suggestions. Yeah, you tried the other night. It's hard. You cannot do it with a cell phone. Smartphones cannot take pictures of the moon. Not yet. Those are professional cameras. Okay. So that's it. That's it. Okay, I've already got my notes. So we only got 3 topics from the community. 3 topics we have. So I like to make sure we open it up to everybody. So let's get to class. Let's get to class, y'all. Let me set this up. Let me get the banners all off the screen so we can dive into our class. Today is smartphone editing tips. And that was not good. That was not supposed to be there. There we go. Put that there. That's what we're looking at. Smartphone editing tips. Are y'all ready to get some tips? Are y'all ready? Okay, let's start. First of all, let's explore some quick and easy smartphone editing tips to elevate your photos. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned photographer, these tips will help you make the most of your mobile edits. Start with auto adjustments. Use the auto feature in your editing app to quickly balance exposure, contrast, and color. This gives you a solid base to work from. And I have here, now this is a little more advanced, but I can show it. So hold on a second. Let me get this little cursor here. And here we go. Stop that and add this. Here we go. Present screen. Okay. Okay. So we have editing tools. Now, most of us have editing tools on our phones. We have all different types of editing tools on our phones, right? And I'll give you a list of some of the ones I use. But we have a lot of these little gadgets. When you look at your editing tools, lots of gadgets. So one of the things you want to do, I'm gonna change my edits on this picture that I took, is that there's a button that usually says auto, right? And by creating an auto settings, it uses the power AI to analyze the choice settings that create a beautiful, pleasing photo. So with that, if you do that, you can, can I get that? Okay, there we go. So you can give yourself a starting point by going to your auto adjustments, and then you can expand on it. So in your phone, you also have an editing tool. Always click on the auto adjustments for smartphone users, right? Click on the auto adjustment, and it's going to give you what it interprets the best adjustments for your photo. However, it is not accurate. It is not 100% accurate. So you need to go in and tweak it, right? You need to go in and tweak it. So you go in, you enhance, but don't overdo. Subtle edits often look more professional. Avoid oversaturating colors or over sharpening details. Aim for a natural look. I always, when I'm editing my photos, I am always trying to get my photos back to what I saw when I took the photo. Now, sometimes I may add a little extra contrast, a little bit. I may add a little more deepness of the dark. I may give it a little more light to highlight something. But you can play with all those sliders. You see here? Let me just bring this back again. You see on these, there's lots of sliders in most of our editing tools. And these sliders change everything. Like for instance, I can change them. I'm going to pop this over here. Here we go. I can make this bright. You saw that? Or I can make it nice and deep and dark. That's my highlight, right? Everyone's going to have a highlight in their editing tool, right? And you can keep going back and forth. Right? Let me get that back to where it was. Or you will have what's called exposure. Everybody has exposure. You can make it dark. You can overexpose. You can make it even, but you're trying to bring it back to how you saw it. Right? There we go. Right? So you will have all these sliders to work with. Okay. Next. Here we go. Let me pop this off and then pop this back on. Okay. So here, crop your composition. Use the crop tool to improve your photo's composition. Apply the rule of thirds or remove distracting elements to focus on your subject. Right? This is what you do. Crop for composition. So my father was trying to take pictures at the wedding this weekend. And I said, he tried to zoom in and take the picture. I said, no, don't do it. Take the picture with the phone and then crop. And you'll see that I took this picture of these trains coming through and the load on the cars. And you'll see when I click on this, it's been cropped. Let me share that with you. Hold on a second. Let me share that with you. It's been cropped. Do you see the crop? You see the big picture? See how big the picture was? And I wanted to eliminate some of this stuff, all the extra stuff, and I cropped it because I really wanted to tell a story between the railroad crossing and whatever your story is, you want to create. You want to crop it to tell your story. I could have left it nice and wide and open, but I cropped it. Cropping is so crucial. Do not use your little finger to pinch the screen in and pinch the screen out. Do not use your zoom on your smartphone. It doesn't give you clarity in your photos. I'm just going to get rid of that. There we go. There we go. So that's cropped. You see the importance of cropping? You get to tell your story better. Okay, here we go. Next one. Adjust brightness and contrast. You just saw that, right? I can share that with you how contrast looks like, right? I have that there. And I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to the tool and you can go. Everybody has a contrast button. Everybody has a contrast button on there. Here we go. I can make it nice and soft. You see that? Oh, see how soft that became? Right? You see how soft that became? Or I can make it harsh by the other way. Harsh. But I want it to be near what I saw it. Right? There we go. So you can change the contrast. Right? What's the other thing it says? The contrast or the brightness. There's a bright, here we don't have the brightness on this one because it's been broken down, because brightness is a tool that uses and the composition, I should say the ratio between the white slider and the black slider. Okay, so adding more darkness or adding more white. So there you have it. There's something to learn, right? Give me some education. Giving you some education. Okay, here we go. So adjust brightness and contrast. Fine tune the brightness and contrast to make your photo pop. Increase contrast slightly to add depth and make details stand out. Right? Use those little sliders. Use those little sliders. They're going to help your phone pictures look good. Make them, because some people take smartphone pictures and they look just as good as any professional camera could ever do. But that's because they know these sliders. They know how to use these edit tools. And you can use them too. Next, play with filters. Filters can add a unique touch to your photos. Choose one that complements the mood of your image and adjust its intensity to keep it subtle. And in most of these apps, we have these filters. Let me see if I can get my filter here so I can share some filters with you. Yeah, here we go. We're all set up. Let me share this. I'm sure I'm good for time. Oh, we're good for time. Good. Excellent. Just got to keep my lesson good. Okay, so we get what we have is called filters. Now, this is a little more, a lot more extreme because this is Lightroom. And you can change the whole feel of your photo because you want to be artistic. You want to be, you want to add drama or you want to take away, or like I can go in and say, I want this picture to be blur background. I can go in. Let me go here. Subject style, angle vintage. Is it going to show up? You see, I can change the colors. I can make different colors show up brighter. I can go into the filter, and there's a bunch of these. I'm going to go subject for travel, and I can change the feel. You saw that just by the snap of a button. Change the feel by using filters. You see? I can create an urban architecture look to it by going in and changing the filters. We have all kinds of filters available to us in most of our editing tools. Now, this is, again, Lightroom has a whole lot, but this is a paid version of Lightroom, and this is a professional one. But there is a phone version called the mobile, Lightroom Mobile, and you can get that for free. Doesn't have everything that we have in the big app, but you can still get those filters, some filters on there, as well as if you use Photoshop Express on your phone. Okay, and let's go on to the next subject. Let's go to the next. Okay, so play with your filters. They're fun. Use selective editing. Some apps allow you to edit specific parts of your photo. Use your features to brighten faces, enhance skies, or bring out details in shadows. Yeah, you all now have the ability on your phone for most of us. But if not, again, you have these special apps like Snapseed, Photoshop, Lightroom, and there's a whole bunch of them. Now they're listed as editing tools with AI. So now they're a little different. And you'll see in most of the stores, you'll see editing tools, and you'll see these different apps, and they'll say AI next to them. Right? Okay, so there we go. Have that there. Okay, so let's go. Should I show that to you? I think some of you can learn some of this stuff, right? I think this will help you guys. And Ron, you should be sell RLP presets. I know. I probably should do that, right? Omar said I should do presets. Chrissy said, I take the full picture and then crop. Exactly. You never know when you might want to use a part of the whole picture. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So let's go from, let me see if I can bring this all back to how I had it. Probably not. Okay, let's get rid of the filters. Yeah, I got rid of the filters. Okay, good. So I got rid of the filters, right? And we are talking about specifics. So in this kind of app, we have what's called all these little brushing tools or radial stuff. So I could go in here, right? And go with the little circle here. Let me pop that in again. Let me pop that in, and I can isolate areas on. Is it going to work with me? Hold on a second. Let me cancel that. Let's go with radial. Okay. Why is it not working? Why is it not moving? It's supposed to, maybe let's try it again. Let's go with radial, and I'm going to see if, here we go. So you see, I just did that. You see how I just did that? Now what I can do is I can add more exposure to that area by lightening it up, or I can darken it more. You see that? I can isolate. I can move this around, and I can isolate there. I can isolate over here. I can have multiples of these and isolate to make the picture more dramatic, right? I can make that a little darker, or I can make this bright, but dark looks good, right? And there you have it, right? So you can isolate areas and fix it up to and add to your photos. Let's go back and let's get ready to close out on this. You can do sharpening. You have sharpening tools and clarity. Slightly increase the sharpness and clarity to make your photos crisper. Be careful not to overdo it, as it can introduce noise. That's another little subject that we have to go in deep, a little deep. That's noise in photography is that's a little more of a deep conversation. But photographers know what I'm talking about. Noise. It just makes it a little more grainier. If you like, it's a little grainy, right? So the more contrast, I should say, the more sharper you make it, the more you increase those clarity buttons, it's going to give you also anything that's not correct in the photo. It's going to highlight them. those little areas. Okay, so make sure you use your sharpening tool, but everything, you know what they say, everything sparingly. It's just like eating. Eat everything you want, but eat sparingly, eat within balance. Don't overdo it, right? Don't overdo it. Don't, unless you are trying to do some kind of artsy thing, some project that requires it, don't overdo it. Your touches should be light, right, Omar? Omar will tell you, Omar is like the king of editing. So light touches, don't go extreme, don't go wild. Make minor, small adjustments, and that will make your photos look professional. Next, experiment with vignettes. I always use vignettes. Well, I should say most of the time. If it's a landscape photo, I don't use vignettes. But if it's a person photo, I use vignettes. What's a vignette? Okay, let me show you what a vignette is. Let me give you vignettes because that is a fun little tool. And it can help you isolate stuff. Let me just see. Let me change. Okay, let me change photos. I want to add this so you can see what I did with my vignette. Okay, here we go. I'm going to change it because you can really see the vignette with this photo. So I took these pictures while I was away this weekend. Vignette. The vignette button. Let's go to it. Let's go to vignette. And the vignette, I'm at 16. Okay, I'll remember my numbers. Yeah, help me remember 16. But with the vignette, you can do stuff like this. You can pull this in, and you see how you isolate your subject? You see your vignette? You can go with a white vignette, like if you got a snow scene and you want it's a blizzard and you want it to look like you're in Christmas card or whatever. But you can go the opposite and you can isolate, right? You can isolate your subject. And all of us have vignettes in your basic editing tools. Editing tools. Okay, let me put mine back to 16 where it was because that's where I like it. And you can see how I did this also in black and white. Look how it looks in black and white. I love trains. Okay, back to the subject. We're getting ready to close out. Okay, here we go. Smartphone apps. These are just my favorite 3s, but there are a lot more out there. There are a lot more apps out there, but you should have one of these or 2 of these on your phone. And you should edit your photos. You can do this. It will make your photos look so much better if you took the time to edit them. People say, Ron, do you edit all your photos? 99% of the time, if I'm posting my photos, they have been edited. I have my name to protect. I can't just post crappy photos. I'm a photographer. It would do bad for my business. But not only that, you want to why not put out good stuff? Good photos draws eyes, right? Jazzy says, Brian saying, I really should know how to use my phone. Our phones are powerful tools. I see here, Chrissy says, the lighting apps are cool because if you are taking pictures in a dimly lit restaurant or other area, you can see your subjects better. Yes, right. Use those tools. Brian says, dude, this makes me realize I use 1% of my phone's features. Yes. Okay, I take a full picture. Okay, good. I'm going to cut up with you guys. My phone never dies. Okay, moving right along. That's it for this week on our Tip Tuesday. Remember, the goal is to enhance your photos while keeping them looking natural. Happy editing. Does that help you guys? Did that help you all? I hope. Let me put myself back in there. Let me get rid of this. I hope that helped you. I hope you got something out of these tips, because let me tell you, most of us are taking pictures with our phones. And you know what the number one thing I'm going to say about this phones is make sure you have a cloth nearby to clean the lens. Make sure that lens is cleaned. I don't care what lesson we teach. We're going to always talk about cleaning the lens of your smartphone, the front and the back. Make sure your lens is clean. Oh, so Jazzy said this was good for her. She said this was great. Chrissy said, thanks, Ron. That's right. I know let me know you appreciate this stuff. If not, I probably shouldn't do it. If you I'm doing this for you. I already know this stuff. I'm doing this for you. Right? Right? This is for you guys. So I hope you learned something. And again, feel free to Omar says, tip number 1, less is more. That's what we use as photographers. Rule number 1 when editing, less is more. Thank you for that one, Omar. Okay, guys. So today, remember, tomorrow we have a guest coming on. Tune in for that. And get ready, do your thing. Today is Tuesday. You got some tips on your photography. Go out, photograph something today. Photograph your lunch. Photograph your family. Photograph someone. Photograph you. Photograph something today. And I guarantee you, if you photograph and you take these lessons, you will say, wow, this tip was really profitable. It is really helping my photography. So get out there and photograph something. Cloth and zest lens wipes. Yes, right. That's right, buddy. Anthony says, get those cloths. Get those cloths. Aya says, thank you, Ron. And Hannah says, thank you. Okay, I love when you guys say thank you. And let me know that you were listening. Let's see here. Don't forget to scroll back up and look at my ideas. That's right. Make sure you scroll up and look at Mr. Bry's ideas. I definitely have your ideas, B. Here we go. Here we go. Some ideas, at least 2 feel-good stories every week. Help our spirits, highlight any of our constant watchers and their personal stories. We all have backgrounds. I like that. Okay, there's a good set. That was a suggestion from Mr. B. And again, if you have any suggestions on what we should be talking about in the next several months, please, you can slide them into my DMs. Let me know. If you are in Instagram, if you are still in the Instagram world, make sure you come over to our Touch Base Daily on YouTube. Like us, subscribe to us on YouTube, and be a part of the community. You will have a more better experience if you are in the YouTube channel. Okay, guys, we're out of here. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had a great time. And Rashawn says, I'm always learning something. I always learning from Professor Ron. One day I'll be a professor, right? One day I will teach photography in school. That is one of my dreams. I said when I'm 70. When I'm 70, I would like to be a college professor. I know. I have these like, yeah, I do want to become a professor. So if anyone's watching and you want me to teach in your school, let me know. Oh, there's a question before I leave you. Aya says, any editing tips for photos of food, wine, and dine? Ooh, I like that. Okay, maybe we're going to have a class on that. I'm gonna put that as one of our subjects. There's a different process in photographing food. Let's go there. Let's do it. How about this? Maybe next week we'll do food photography with our smartphones. Let's do that. Food photography for next week. Let me write that down. I got to write that down because I will forget. Okay, I got it. Well, I'll just look at this and remind, but I got you. That would be great, right? Say Lee says, that would be great. Would be great. Let's learn how to take food. But yeah, there is but just so you can have a quickie on your smartphone. For most smartphones, there is you slide across and there is a setting that says food. You can put your camera in food mode and it will get you those amazing photos. But we'll get you on how to enhance them next week. Okay, I like that. Okay, it is 12:06. I'm sorry, 11:06. It is time to let you guys go. It is time to let you guys get to work. It is time. It is time to leave you. Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. Okay, and I'll leave it that way. I won't go beyond. Okay, see you guys. Love ya. And see ya tomorrow.